Welcome to Run With It, BC's only running fitness and health program. On this month's episode, we have back on Doctor's Corner Dr. Lucas MacMillan to talk about nutrition and basic foods. But first, let's go to our brain fitness segment. Check this out. Joining me is a very special guest, Dr. Malone from the Vancouver Dementia Prevention Center, and he's here today to talk about brain fitness. Welcome to the show, Patrick.
Thank you very much. We appreciate any opportunity to raise public awareness about the tools that are available these days for brain fitness.
Yes, and you can have a healthy body, but it's best to have a healthy brain fitness too, which is really important.
You know, we spend a lot of time on a lot of parts of our body, and sometimes the brain is overlooked. It's true.
Yeah, so what is brain fitness?
Well, brain fitness is a concentration of tools that are available today that nourish the brain. We hear a lot about neurodegenerative. Examples are Parkinson's or dementia, but we don't hear enough about neuroregenerative. While, of course, keeping the mind active, fish oils, blueberries, all great examples. But the public needs to have it prioritized. They need to know what are the top things. And so our work and our investments are to research. The Vancouver Dementia Prevention Center is aiming to be Canada's brain fitness equipment experts. So we want to make it simple for the public to put together in their own homes, in their own time, a brain spa. So that's what we've brought here today.
That's wonderful. And what are the benefits?
Well, we often, too often, to be honest, people concentrate on memory. But memory is only a small part. We like to focus on mood, motivation, motor skills, and mental acuity. People are sensitive about their mental acuity, and there is still stigma surrounding dementia, a stigma so similar to alcoholism in the 50s or depression 20 years ago, a stigma that must be eradicated. We need to incorporate brain fitness at an early age as a natural part of our overall fitness program. And so runners will know that their mood is affected by their exercise. And so it's easy to think that how we feel day to day is connected entirely to our circumstance of how fortunate we are. But that's not the case. If it were the case, the most fortunate would never struggle with anxiety or depression or any of those things. The truth is that we are dependent on our neurological health for how we feel every day. That is mood, that is motivation, and it is also motor skills. While people like Tom Brady are famous enthusiasts for brain fitness, soccer player Messi runs far less than any of the other players in soccer, but scores more. He's got a wide angle lens of the game like Gretzky had on ice. That's brain fitness. Brain fitness is confidence, it is uplifted mood, it's motivation to get up every day, it's also motor skills, and then finally it's mental acuity.
It's wonderful, yes. So you're going to show us
We
right
are,
behind?
absolutely. A good example of the tools that are available, next year in 2020, it will be the centennial of audio-visual stimulation that has been proven over the course of 100 years to elevate mood and enhance focus. It's disappointing that this has taken 100 years, but where we are at, if I can be honest, where we're at today in neurology is where electric cars were before Elon Musk. Before Elon Musk, there were already 1,000 electric car zealots in the United States alone. Do you know what they wanted to build? They wanted to build the Volkswagen for the people. What did Elon Musk build? He built the Batmobile for billionaires. And so sometimes if you want to quarterback technology into the consumer market, you need to put it into a luxurious experience for the guest. That's what we've done here. So, Brody, how are you today?
I am excellent, Patrick.
Excellent, good to hear. So, what's happening with Brody is he's got pulsed electromagnetic at the waist and also behind the head. He's got audio-visual stimulation, both in the ear and the eye. He's got molecular hydrogen inhalation and photobiomodulation. So, if the viewer can take anything away from today, I would prefer that they took away those 4 words than Patrick Malone and Vancouver Dementia Prevention. To be honest, if they're interested in brain fitness, molecular hydrogen inhalation, pulsed electromagnetic, 40 hertz audio visual, so eye and ear, and photobiomodulation, spelled just like it sounds. Those are the top 4 neuro-nourishing technologies. They've come a long way. They've been sequestered in academia for far too long. They need to be combined and brought into the public so that the people for $6,000 or $7,000 can have their own brain spa in their own home. We have chosen one supplement. He would be dissolving NAD+ under his tongue. It is an essential B3 nutrient for brain function. So while turmeric and blueberries are good, those are good for 40 years use for buildup. If you want intervention, if you want optimization, then NAD+ is the way to go.
Yes. So the brain fitness spa.
That's right, brain spa, yes.
Yes.
If you like, I can go into detail about the benefits of each.
I think we would love it.
Sure, if we have time.
Yes.
And so pulsed electromagnetic is called jumping jacks for your cells. And but I would put it a different way. Because it is pulsing electromagnetic energy into the body, it's 40-year-old technology. It's been used for bone healing. It excites calcium. It's the answer for osteoporosis. It was featured on the first episode of Nip Tuck. The person had a facelift, and the guy puts it on, and he says, "This mask is electromagnetic to help the healing." And I thought, hey, that's what we do. And so what pulsed electromagnetic, or PEMF, does is it helps the respiration of the cell. The ability for the cell, through the opening of ion channels, and a Nobel Prize was awarded for it. The opening of the ion channels lets nutrients in, but more importantly, equally importantly, it expels waste. If the membrane is impermeable, you can reduce your calorie intake and do all the exercise you want, but your body shape may not change. And that's what's happening with people. Their cellular membrane is impermeable, so the toxicity that they have cannot be released. Pulsed electromagnetic enhances the cellular respiration. While that's important for the gut, it's far more important for the brain. We want our neurons to be robust in their ability to take in nutrients and expel waste. Waste in the brain is plaques and tau, it's heavy metals, it's viruses. So the body has natural mechanisms to rid the brain of waste. We just need to support those. The second thing is photobiomodulation through LED and red light. The preeminent expert on that is Dr. Michael Hamblin, spelled Hamblin, from Harvard, 40 years into it. The ability for the mitochondria to absorb energy from near infrared is well documented. Mitochondria is concentrated in the heart, the brain, and the eye, all have huge energy needs. And so the light is able to penetrate the skull and energize the neuron. So pulsed electromagnetic and photobiomodulation. 40 hertz is very exciting. Yeah. It is, and people just need to look up 40 hertz. Abbreviated HZ, and that technology for 40 hertz is gamma wavelength in the brain. Gamma is what meditators have. It gives a sense of compassion and empathy. People who have depression and dementia have very low levels of gamma. You can meditate if you want, and we would encourage that. But there are tools that can help induce that. into the brain, and 40 hertz is just that. People feel very uplifted by it. So that's 40 hertz. That's done through glasses and headphones. It's important to note that this technology is often very inexpensive. Those are under $200 Canadian. And it is a great thing to have in the home for young students who may be struggling with concentration, with older people who may be feeling the first stages of mild cognitive impairment. And the final thing is molecular hydrogen concentration. This is being inhaled. It was discovered in Japan in 2007, and it's very exciting because it is a selective antioxidant. So while there are antioxidants out there that we know, what this targets are the most vicious, not the things that cause wrinkles or the mild signs of aging, but the things that cause DNA damage. And so the hydroxyl and peroxy free radicals, this goes at it directly and scoops it up in a way that we've been unable to do before. Antioxidants are important in the three places: the heart, the eye, and the brain, because as they consume oxygen to produce, they create oxidative waste. And molecular hydrogen is able to go in and reduce that dramatically.
Wonderful. And if people want more information, where can they go?
Oh, well, our website, www.vancouver-dementiapreventioncenter.com.
Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thanks.
Joining me is a very special guest, Dr. Lucas MacMillan. He's a naturopathic physician and is here today to talk about nutrition and basic foods. Welcome back.
Yes, hello. It's great to be here again.
That's great. You know what, when it comes to nutrition, athletes really should be aware of what they're eating for not getting ill or getting injured. But some of us don't like breakfast. So how important is breakfast?
Yeah. So it's definitely a highly talked about topic. It's pretty interesting. Originally, I was trained to believe that breakfast was absolutely essential no matter what. And if you look at some of the research, say for intermittent fasting, it turns out that breakfast isn't maybe as necessary as we originally thought, and that while it does serve a purpose, it is not. For many people, it's not even the best way to go. Some people thrive and do better without breakfast. And some of the leading researchers on anti-aging medicine suggest that missing one or maybe up to 2 meals a day might be good for our health. This is cutting edge information. It's not quite proven yet, but there's the possibility. It's important to be aware of the possibilities. So I believe, and the best information I can find and what I see with my patients, is that if you're not eating breakfast and you feel tired after a few hours, those two are probably related. You at least have to get something into your body if you're feeling tired during that morning period. If you feel okay, you're probably doing okay. If your body is telling you, I'm okay like this, you're probably not doing that bad. The most important parts are the amount of food that goes in. So regardless of what time of day you actually put food in your body, getting enough carbohydrates, enough fiber, enough protein, enough vitamins, enough minerals is going to be more important than when you put it in your body. That's always going to be the bigger, overarching important part. But that said, depending on your activity, things change. So if you're going to go for an hour run in the morning or a 2-hour run, your body is likely going to do better with a little bit of fuel in the tank, right? I mean, after we've slept, say, for 8 hours, we've had an 8, 9, 10, 12-hour fast because we haven't eaten in that time. To go for a run after that forces our body to use different stores. And if we don't have something to replenish that, some people will crash or won't feel as good because of it. Something to be aware of. But it is one of the tools that many people use to lose weight. It is a legitimate form of intermittent fasting, so you can potentially skip breakfast and still do okay as long as you feel okay. I use that as by far the most important indicator because you are different than me, we are different than the next person. How you feel, we got to pay attention to the most important sensors that are built into your body.
If you're running a race or a marathon, you might want to have a smoothie just in case, would you suggest?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Again, not for the first time on race day, so you want to experiment with that beforehand, but smoothies are a nice way to have your food largely broken down for you. So interesting concept. Some of the people that come to see me have digestive problems literally because they don't chew their food very well. And when we say, okay, be sure you chew your food so that it's basically a paste before you swallow it, that alone seems to help some digestive problems. right? It's amazing to me how simple that solution is, but the larger the chunks that you're swallowing, the harder the acids, enzymes, and bile have to work to break that down. The smaller those pieces, the better you chew your food, the easier it is for your digestive system to break it down. So if you blend your food, you're getting there faster, right? It's essentially a highly chewed food. So benefits there, and depending on what you put in it, I mean, I wouldn't go with a heavy, I mean, you can put many different products into your shakes. Putting a high amount of peanut butter into your shakes first thing in the morning before a run, that'd make me feel bad, and most of the people I see would make them feel bad. But if you have some carbohydrate, some protein ideally, and a lighter mixture before, say, a run, it's likely to help you.
What about food timing? Like, how often should we eat?
Yeah, it's another highly debated and highly talked about concept. So I do believe it's different person to person. Some people's blood sugars will drop if they don't eat. Some people will feel just horrible if they don't have food in their stomach. Maybe a spouse of mine at some point gets a little bit more upset if she hasn't eaten in a while, and maybe I do the same thing, to be honest. But so we have to pay attention to those things as well. But for the most part, we can get away with not eating for days. Truthfully, I mean, many of us, if we fast, we're not going to have negative health effects, right? I mean, if we play with this, ideally it'd be medically supervised, but just to point out that concept that generally speaking, the human body can do these things. So bringing all of that together, the concept of eating 5, 6, 9 meals per day will be helpful for some people, but not for everyone. And there are something like small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, which is potentially one of the larger causes of irritable bowel syndrome. So, you know, the constipation, bloating, diarrhea, just a huge number of digestive problems seems to be more likely to happen if you eat more meals in the day. You actually need some space in between to encourage a different kind of pumping of the digestive tract to prevent some of these things from happening. So knowing that, these rules that we typically stand by, like you have to eat 3 meals per day, ideally 3 meals plus 3 more snacks, don't apply to everyone, and I've seen them directly cause problems. So knowing that, it is different, but it's a general rule. If you feel good, if your digestion is okay and your energy is up, probably the easiest way to judge this is by your energy and maybe your mood. You're eating enough. So if you're having a drop in between, or if you always have an energy drop at a certain time of day, changing your meal timing can potentially change that energy drop and ideally make it disappear. So again, listening to your body, and I offer, or I recommend diet diaries compared with symptom diaries for a lot of the people that I see, because you can compare the amounts that you're eating and the timing that you're eating with how you're feeling. So if you're having digestive problems, if you're having sleep problems, if your energy is dropping, if you have digestive pains, you can compare this to what you're eating and when you're eating it to try to help figure that out. It's a short term, maybe 2 weeks should answer most people's questions, but it's another tool we can use to actually assess these things for ourselves for free.
Well, for free.
Yeah.
And like food recommendations, like you would start, it's always changing?
Always, yeah, exactly. So we don't know everything, and it's very easy for healthcare providers, dietitians, etc., to claim that we have all of the answers. We just don't. We have a lot of great information, and chances are you'll learn a lot more and have a better chance, say, with us than without us. But we don't know everything, and that's part of why some of these recommendations keep changing. The other thing is that we extrapolate information that we have truly learned from research to other problems that doesn't really apply. So if I prove that offering treatment A causes outcome B, the only thing I've learned from that is that when I do this, I get this outcome. I haven't learned why that happens. And this is a common misconception with research. It's very common for researchers to understandably give their best guess as to why and how that works. It's not always understood. Typically we understand what happens what we change and the outcome that changes, but everything in between is a fairly highly educated guess. So, and then we apply that educated guess as to how and why that works to other concepts. So, for example, well, we think maybe you should eat butter because, studies have shown that whatever this affects your outcomes in this direction. Oh, maybe it's margarine again because now there's this focus, or maybe it's butter again. We don't fully know all of these answers. And the less we know, the more likely you are to get a million different perspectives on that topic. So we can expect some degree of change, and we can expect that it's not always going to be the same. That's probably a good thing that it changes because we don't have all the answers yet.
Is there a perfect diet?
Never. Absolutely not. So if I eat celery, my tongue goes numb. It's an example I give to a lot of my people, and I think I've had 5 people now tell me, oh, me too, celery specifically does that. It can be any of the foods that you're eating causing a strange reaction in your body. So it doesn't mean that we're all allergic to dairy or gluten or celery. But what it does mean is that the way you break down foods might be different than your brother, might be different than your spouse, might be different than your trainer. So getting advice from them on what works for them won't necessarily tell you what works for you, because your body is different. I have patients that drink coffee at night for the purpose of falling to sleep because it makes them tired. That is not me. That is not something that would work for me. Exactly, and definitely not something I would recommend. But that speaks to the level of individuality, which again, experimentation with yourself, with different foods, with different times, with different training regimens will very much tell you what works for your body. Like high intensity interval training is an amazing way to train, and statistically speaking, it's probably one of the more efficient ways to get your exercise benefits. But not everybody will thrive on that program. It's just not for everyone, because we can't have a single program for everyone, and diet is even more so to that extent. We're all individuals. It's just too much difference from one person to another. Yeah.
Good information. And if you want more information, where can they go?
Yeah, my personal website's always available, so www.drlucasmac.com. Trying to continue putting information out there, and I'm building a program that is going to be a little bit more interactive, where you can have an Ask the Doctor segment.
Yes.
So you can send in whatever questions you have. You can always contact me directly from the website, but I'm trying to compile a list of questions or a list of things that I talk about regularly in the office, so I can give people that information via video or via text on the website. And it can be just a single source that people check to try to improve their health, try to find things that work better for them.
That's wonderful. And
yeah.
Thank you very much for coming on the show, and we love you to come back.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would love to do that.
Thanks for watching. If you have a question or comment about today's show, go to our website on the screen. Until next time, run with it.
Run With It is sponsored by BC Sports Hall of Fame, Black & Lee, Dr. MacMillan, naturopathic physician, Fairmont Waterfront Hotel, and Mallory's Fashion Network.